Hey there, welcome back to Melanie Loves Death Metal. It is Monday, happy Monday. Let's get the week started off right by talking about some great death metal today, and that is what we are talking about, is great death metal today. I've got a stack of CDs and a couple of things that were sent to me that I wanted to show off and talk about and get back on your radar. We've already talked about those albums before, but we're going to talk about them again too on here. But I've got a stack of CDs that I've gotten over the last couple of weeks from pre-orders and stuff that I haven't talked about yet. I figured I would dedicate a whole video to them. All new releases this year. Get some stuff on your radar if you haven't heard it yet. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I have to show you guys today and talk about is the new Cardiac Arrest album, The Stench of Eternity, that is out on Hell's Headbangers. So if you're not familiar with Cardiac Arrest, they are a band out of the Chicagoland area, and admittedly, I am incredibly biased of this band for that reason. However, I did really enjoy a lot of their last albums. This is their 8th full-length album. Their last album came out in 2020. I know I talked about it on here. I know I showed it off on here, so it's been a while since I've talked about this band since then, but their last album, The Day That Death Prevailed, is awesome. Huge fan of that album. And then I also have A Parallel Dimension of Despair. That's the other Cardiac Arrest album that I have. Admittedly, I don't own the earlier catalog, but this band has been around for a while. And I think they started back in the early 2000s. And this is just your good, straightforward, done correctly. And I shouldn't say done correctly because that's just a stupid term to say. But done really well death metal band. They are consistent. They are good. They have riffs. And on this album, there's a little bit of a thrashier side to it. So again, this is out on Hell's Headbangers. I think there's also a vinyl. I got the CD because that's the format that I have and the other albums that I own. Artwork is done by Gruesome Graphics, which if you're not familiar with Gruesome Graphics, please get familiar because he is an incredible artist. He does a lot of logo work and cover art in the death metal scene. He's been around for forever. Follow him. He's an awesome artist. So I love that artwork. It goes really, 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 really well with the album as a whole in terms of the style of death metal that you're going to be listening to. This does have a very thrashy sound to it, especially a little bit more pummeling guitar riffs on here. And I do really like that. I like when the death thrash is thrown into these death metal albums. Here's the centerfold of the band. And then some more lyrics. And then the liner notes. I've been really enjoying this album. It's a fun listen. It's definitely got a ton of catchy tracks from the very beginning of the opening, movie clip. I don't know what it's from, admittedly. I probably should have looked into that before I started talking about this. From the minute Victims of To the Blasphemy, which is the second song, starts, just straightforward. It's a really fun listen. It goes quick, and I usually just play it over and over again. I had this playing the other day while I was cleaning my office and going through my tapes and my CDs and stuff. I think it played like 3 times in a row. It's just a super fun listen. It's a very, very consistent, very good death metal album. This band just are one of those bands that is so underrated, not enough people talk about them, and that just sucks because they're a gem in the scene. This came out on April 2nd, so it's been out for a little bit now. I think that there may be a tape too, I can't remember. But these are still available on Hell's Headbangers, so definitely snag a copy and listen to it. There's the CD. I like the CD. I like that. I think that looks awesome with the tombstone and the little skeleton hands coming out. It looks good. I don't think there's a... Oh, yeah, and the Cardiac Arrest is on that side on the tray. So, phenomenal album. I've been enjoying this. This is definitely one of my favorite releases to come out this year. I was super pumped when I saw that it was announced. I immediately pre-ordered it as soon as it was announced. And of course, Hell's Headbangers has been nailing it this year, and they've been sending out their pre-orders super early. I think I got this 2 weeks before the actual release date. And then same with the Desolus album. That came out at least a month, because I think Desolus officially came out this last Friday. I've had that thing for almost a month. And then I also just got a shipment notice for another pre-order that I did through Hell's Headbangers, that I don't think this album comes out quite yet, and that's Funeral Storm. Actually, maybe did it just come out? I don't know. Maybe that was, I don't remember. But Funeral Storm is another one. So Hell's Headbangers has been releasing a lot of great albums this year. Cemetery and Urn is another one that was a release that I really enjoyed. So this is one of them. Definitely check it out. The one thing that I really like about this album is that every single song is the perfect length. They don't go too crazy. It doesn't get super like out there, because sometimes these newer death metal albums, like, it all sounds the same. Sometimes it gets kind of murky. Every single song stands out from each other. The final track, though, From Civilized to Sadistic, is 11 minutes long. It is so good. Like, I know it's a fairly longer song length, but definitely just listen to it. They just are just that old school death metal vibe. Like, this is very much like a early 90s deathy, thrashy style of album that reminds me of that. The mix is pretty raw sounding. It's not like the super clean production. And I think that's just generally the style that Cardiac Arrest has, and that's what I really enjoy about them, because it keeps like that old school sound to it. So this is a really good album. I really, really like it. I really hope that more people start to listen to it, and just definitely check it out. And again, they're from my homeland. I'm from Chicago, so I tend to really try and support the local bands there still, and give them enough praise. Cyanide obviously is the other well-known death metal band from Chicago, but there's plenty of others. I need to do a YouTube video on the Chicago death metal scene, because there are several other, like, or just Illinois as a whole. I know that Nick over on Thralls of Metal is doing something like that on his channel. I don't want to rip him off, so I'm not going to do like every state like he's doing, but maybe I'll do an Illinois one just to pay homage to the homeland. So that was the first CD I got that I've had for a little while now that I've been meaning to talk about in here, just trying to get through my queue of new albums. The next one is another one that I could not wait to get. This has been a demo that I have been listening to nonstop. Definitely going to be demo of the year for me, 1000%. And that is the new Purulency. Purulency. I don't know. I'm saying it wrong. I know I am. This is their demo, Transcendent Unveiling of Dimensions. I've got the CD. This is on Pulverised Records, but there's also a tape out on Caligari Records. If you go to Metal Archives, it says they're on Caligari, but this is the Pulverised Records CD version. I picked this up through NWN because Pulverised is... I forgot where you're located. Let me Google that while we're recording here. They're international. I know that. Is it Mexico? I probably just messed that up. Let me see. I cannot remember. I just know that the shipping is kind of expensive. Let's go to the About Me. About. Damn. Pulverized. Where are you located? I completely forgot. About Us. Here we go. Let's find out. Where are you from? Singapore. I was way off. Woo! Way off. But anyway, NWN stocks Pulverised Records stuff, so this is where I snagged this. So again, this is a demo of the year here. This is just nasty, filthy, Lovecraftian style death metal. That's some of the themes, and Aliens, I think, is the other theme. But like, there's definitely like that darker, like murky, like almost Lovecraftian style of death metal. I don't even know. Is that a style of death metal now? Okay, ignore the Lovecraftian thing. It's just that murky, dirgy, dark, at times very cavernous style of death metal. Just very filthy sounding. It is 4 tracks, 18 minutes long. It goes quick. The first track is just an instrumental track, but it's really, really good. I generally cannot stand when bands put out an instrumental track or an intro on their album. That's something that I haven't really liked lately, but some of them have been doing it really well these last couple of releases, and that intro track is really good. So let's show off the CD here. I love this artwork. I love the black and white themes that we have, and this is like a Xeroxed booklet almost, but the artist is let's see, cover art is by Luxi Latinen. I probably said that way wrong. But this was a session keyboards by Ethan Camp, which I'm sure you're familiar with who Ethan is. And so there's the artwork. Very cool, very cool. And then inside, it's just this like Xerox style booklet. And then there's the other side. So very nice. Like Pulverized puts out really good CDs. I love buying stuff from them. I actually have another one I'm going to show off right after this. But this is a really, really good demo. I've seen so much high praise on it. In fact, I listened to it on Bandcamp when it was first released back in January. So it's been out since January. And I was going to get the tape on Caligari. Ultimately decided to wait because, as you guys know, my employment status changed. And then finally, when I saw NWN had it in stock, and NWN was having this like 20% off sale for a really long time, and the CD was only like $8. So you know what? I'm just gonna snag it. I'm just gonna get it because I really, really like it, and I've been listening to it a ton. And then here's the backside. So really good. Now this band is out of, I think they're in the U.S. Let me see. I got to pull my notes back up again. Yeah. They're out of the U.S. This is the only thing that they've released. The members, I was looking to see what other bands they were in, if there was anything that I was familiar with, and no, I wasn't, unfortunately. Because sometimes something like this pops up, and then you go look at the bands, and you're like, oh, well, they're in like Cerebral Rot, and they're in this band, and they're in this band. They're doing a bunch of other things. But no, I unfortunately don't recognize any of the other bands that these guys are in. So I'll have to check them out. But yeah, this is really, really good. Just that really, like, it honestly just takes over your soul. Like, that's the style of death metal is. It's got that darker, dissonant sound to it. Very murky sounding. The production level is not like the super overproduced death metal. It's got that really underground, scrappy feel to it. It's just a really, really good demo. I don't know how the best way to explain it. I guess you could say it's just beautifully filthy. That's a good way of saying it. It's cavernous. It's punishing old school style of death doom. It's got a doomy sound to it as well. It's just a crushing demo. I've just been so in love with it. And I've listened to it so much that I am absolutely, when it gets announced that these guys are making a full length, it's going to be one of my most anticipated full lengths. And hopefully that's soon. Hopefully this isn't just a demo band. Which, again, if it is, that's fine too, because it's a really good demo. But this is just, it's got a stank to it that's just so good. It's just so filthy. So check it out if you're into that style of filthy death metal. You'll definitely really enjoy this. Again, 4 tracks, 18 minutes long. It's a pretty good size demo length. The CD is on Pulverised. If you're in Singapore or international, it'll probably be cheaper to get to you. NW1 has it in stock. And then again, the tape is available on Caligari Records. Links will be in the description where you can buy this. So this is definitely one of my favorite releases this year. This is one that I've gotten super excited about, and just talking about it and listened to it a ton. I've seen a lot of my other friends posting it in the death metal scene, so I'm glad that they're enjoying it as well. This next one is also on Pulverised Records. Another one that I've been absolutely obsessed with. An album that might just be one of the best albums, in my opinion, to come out this year. Totally underrated. I'm not seeing enough people talking about it. And this is Uttertomb, a band out of Chile. This is their first full-length, Nebulous of Self-Desecration. So this is on Pulverised Records. I don't know. There might be a vinyl for this too. I cannot remember, admittedly. But I, again, got this through NWN at the same time as I bought this. I was lucky and got it for 20% off. I don't think they're doing that sale anymore. This is, without a doubt, some of the best dissonant atmospheric death doom ever that I've heard in a very long time, with the exception of like the new Spectral Voice album that came out earlier this year. My throat is bothering me. I feel a little tickle coming on, like I need to cough. 1 second. I did that on purpose. I was so exaggerated. But I did need to get that out. Yeah, I mean, has that ever happened to you when you've just been sick with like a really bad cold and congestion and your throat's just fucked up and you just always are coughing? Anyway, this album I knew was going to be good when I saw the album cover. That album cover is basically the theme of several other albums that have come out this year. Diabolical Oath, Replicant. There's another black metal album. I can't think of it right now. The band starts with an N. Noise something. They have a similar style of artwork, and that's because I think it's the same artist, and he goes by Chaos Dictator. And I just like that as a whole pretty much just kind of gives you what you are going to expect. The other one is Here's the Arc. I have that. I should have pulled that for this video. Oh well. Anyway, so yeah, This album came out fairly recently, and I was waiting to get it April 19th, so, well, not that recent. But it's been out for a while now, and Pulverised posted the whole entire album on their YouTube, and I remember I listened to it the day it got posted. I was a huge fan. I was like, okay, well, that's on my shopping list. I'm definitely going to get that. And as soon as I saw that NWN got it in stock, I ordered it with this. Just a phenomenal, that dissonant, atmospheric style of Death Doom. Very cavernous sounding at times. Just so, like, really makes you feel like you're sitting in a dark void when you're listening to it. And that is some of my absolute favorite death metal. I show a lot of that style of death metal off on this channel, and I even do like reviews on it. I think Heavy Metallurgy, I've done several reviews like that as well. But yeah, Chilean death metal done right. Chile's got such a great death metal scene. I need to do a whole video on that too. There's so many great bands that come out of there. So here we go. A really nice booklet of the lyrics, and the artwork and layout goes really well with the whole overall theme of this and the aesthetics. Let's see, is there any pictures? Yeah, there you go. So again, Pulverised Records, and then the CD itself is just this style of artwork. That's just all it is. So amazing album, man. One of my favorite albums to come out this year so far. Top contender. I've been listening to it nonstop. Just pummels you, puts you into this void of just pure excellence. Just the album is so above average than what some stuff that's been coming out. Like, it just has proven to be a repeatable listen. And when an album proves to be a repeatable listen, it gets the highest distinguishment for me, like the stamp of approval for me. And this has been that. It's got a long-lasting effect and value that will definitely pull off the shelf. Incredible debut from this band. They've just done, like, they've released a phenomenal debut. They have several other EPs and a demo out that spans back to 2011, so they've been around for a while, but they're finally out with the first full length this year. So they've been in the scene for a while. They've been putting out music for a little while, but this immediately is the one that I got me into them. I didn't know any of their previous works, so very, very, very good. Again, I don't remember if there was a vinyl. I'll link everything in the description what I find, but I know for sure the CD, and I don't even know if there's a tape. Couldn't even tell you. But just phenomenal album. I'm such a huge fan of it, man. I can't stop listening to it. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think. I even, like, thought about it. I was like, man, maybe I should have just did a Heavy Metallurgy review for this, but it came out in April, and I feel like that's kind of far gone now. So I figured I would just talk about it in the Death Metal collection update. But just very good, that dissonant atmosphere style to it. So, okay, I'm done talking about it. I'm a huge fan of this. Absolutely love it. Check it out. Okay, so then finally the last stuff I want to show you is Brennan. Mr. Brennan Westermeyer, I think that's how you say your last name, is the main guy. The main guy behind this band right here was also on a Fluids album a couple years ago. Phenomenal musician. Sent me a bit of a care package of his last album, Yawning Depths, not the one that's currently out right now. The one that's currently out right now is on Transcendent Obscurity. Let me pull this up. That came out last year, called Evergloom. That's on Transcendent Obscurity. So this album came out in 2022. So a couple years ago, Yawning Depths was the second full-length album behind Crawling Worship. I've shown this off on the channel already. I've talked about it on here. But he sent me a care package of a tape, CD, and vinyl to talk about again. I'm probably going to use some of this for a giveaway because I actually already own it on CD too. I bought the CD and the tape back then. But the tape was out on Gurgling Gore. And it's that fluorescent green tape. And this is the one that I've shown off on here. So I'm going to definitely use this stuff for a giveaway, definitely in the future. Thorn is, again, it's just Brendan. It's Death Doom. His first album, Crawling Worship, was incredible. I was a huge fan of that. But The Encompassing Nothing was an EP that he released in 2020 on Gurgling Gore. Immediately was the first ever Gurgling Gore release that I bought. Was a huge fan of him. Just very good cavernous style of death metal. Excited, it's only him. And then Crawling Worship came out, and then now Yawning Depths. And this is a crusher. I'm a huge fan of this album. I know I've already talked about it on here, but for the newer people that just subscribed to me, you're seeing this now for the first time ever. But he writes everything. He does everything, all the instrumentation on it. He also was in Paranoia Apparition, which was another awesome band. He used to be in Fluids. He was on their last release, not the one that just came out this year, but their last release that was on Hell's Headbangers. The hell was it called? Not Dark Yet. There you go. He was the lead singer on that. So he's just a really talented death metal guy. We talk quite a bit on Instagram, so he's shot this over as like a care package to me to show off on the channel. And then here is a CD that came out on Chaos Records that he sent me. I already have a copy of this, so I'll probably definitely use this as a giveaway as well. There's the CD, and then I'll show you the booklet. Blanking on who the artist was. I can't remember now. Let me find it. Neheroth? No, that's the wrong one. Troll Meadow? I can't read this font. I will put it in the description who did the artwork. I'm like dumb when it comes to reading these like old school style of font. So here's that, and the booklet is the lyrics and like the spacey, like the layout theme, not spacey. Whatever, just like the layout of this is in the background. There you go. So the tape and the CD are definitely going to be used as a giveaway because I already owned a copy of these. This is a really, really good album. I love Thorn. They're one of those underground death metal bands that really got me into tape collecting. This was one of the first tapes that the Encompassing Nothing was one of the first tapes I bought when I started collecting back in 2020. Again, Brendan's an awesome guy. He makes great music. He's got that really just crushing cavernous style of vocals, and that's the style of death metal that he plays. And it's got the doomier element to it. Very good album. This album I definitely talked about, but he also was kind enough to send me the record, and I am not getting rid of this because, as you guys know, I actually sold off my copy of this when I sold off most of my collection a couple of months ago. So now I have it back in the collection. I'm not getting rid of this, so I'll show this off. Finally showing off a vinyl record on the channel. It feels good to be holding wax. So there's the jacket, and then it's got a printed inner sheet similar to the CD of the same style of artwork, and then lyrics on the other side. I don't remember how many color variants there were of this. I'm pretty sure he still has this available on his Bandcamp. I will put everything in the description. And it's on this green, like olive green with black splatter, which looks awesome. So I've been spinning this. It's been nice to spin records. It's been a while. I do have 2 records back there that I recently just got as a pre-order. They are the final record pre-orders that I had come out in the mail. I don't have anything on order for records anymore, but that is definitely going to change soon. I can feel it. I miss buying vinyl records. I love tapes and CDs, but damn, do I miss spinning the wax. So thank you so much, Brendan, for sending this to me. Super pumped about it. Again, Thorn, check them out. Check his band out. I don't know if he has any other stuff in the works. He's out of Arizona. Like I said, Evergloom came out on Transcending Obscurity, which I just saw somebody get that in stock. That is not indie merch. I think it either was Gurgling Gore or Iron Fortress. I can't remember. I am 1,000% going to grab that album because I was a huge fan of it. I haven't talked about it on here because I don't own it physically. And in Transcending Obscurity, just the packaging that they put with their stuff is so worth buying. So I don't know if he has any other projects in play, but this is his main work of art that he does. Evergloom is a really good album too, and just a phenomenal record that came out last year in September. Unfortunately, I was late to listening to it, so I didn't really get around to talking about it until now, but when I do finally get a physical copy, I'll talk about it. But so this is Thorn, Yawning Depths, his second full-length album. Everything will be in the description. I'm pretty sure all the stuff I just showed is still available on Bandcamp. He's got copies of it. He often puts up good deals too throughout the year on his Bandcamp, so follow him as well. And that is all that I have today. Thank you so much again, Brennan, for sending me that. Check out Cardiac Arrest, Purulency, and Uttertomb, all great releases that came out this year. This year is off to a phenomenal start in regards to death metal. And I see people like, nothing's good yet, because you're not trying hard enough to find something to listen to. That's all I got to say. See you guys in the next one.